She smiled at him warmly all evening, laughed at his jokes, said she had an amazing time, and then never texted back. He was confused. She seemed genuine, so what went wrong? Here's the truth nobody tells you. Nothing went wrong. You just didn't understand the psychology behind what was actually happening. And that right there is exactly what this video is about. Stay with me for the next few minutes, because what I'm about to share might completely rewire the way you understand the women in your life. Welcome back. If you're new here, this channel is dedicated to one thing: using real psychology to understand real human behavior. Today we're diving into one of the most misunderstood topics in all of behavioral science: female psychology and behavior. Now, before you click away, this is not a women are crazy video, and it's not a women are perfect video either. This is a science-backed, honest breakdown of how and why women behave the way they do in relationships, socially, emotionally, and professionally. We're covering 5 major psychological truths that most people simply don't know or refuse to accept. Truths backed by decades of research in evolutionary psychology, neuroscience, and behavioral science. Let's get into it. Truth number 1. Women have a neurological advantage in emotional intelligence, and it shapes nearly every behavior you observe. Let's start with the brain itself. Research published in the journal Neuroimage found that the limbic system, the brain's emotional processing center, tends to show greater activity in female brains. Women also typically show stronger connectivity within this region, which means emotions are processed more intensely and more frequently. This is not a weakness, it is a superpower and a source of extraordinary complexity. Here's what this looks like in real life. When a woman seems to remember every single detail of an argument from 3 years ago, she is not being manipulative. Her brain literally encoded that emotional event with more depth and detail than yours did. The memory is richer because the emotional imprint was stronger. When she picks up on the fact that you're upset before you've said a single word, that is not a coincidence. A 2009 study by psychologist Reuben Ger at the University of Pennsylvania found that women's brains show stronger connectivity between the intuitive and analytical regions, making them naturally sharper at reading emotional subtext and micro-expressions, those half-second facial cues that flash across your face before you can control them. Most men miss them entirely. Women catch them automatically. So the next time a woman tells you she just knows something is off, don't dismiss it as paranoia. She is processing emotional data at a level most men simply don't operate at. And when she seems deeply affected by something that feels minor to you, remember, her brain is wired to feel that more intensely. It is not performance, it is neurological reality. Truth number 2. The way women navigate social dynamics is a deeply ingrained evolutionary survival strategy. Here's a story that's going to make this click instantly. Imagine 2 early humans 100,000 years ago, one male, one female. Both face rejection from their social group. For the male, painful but survivable. He could hunt alone, find another group, fight his way back into status. For the female, social rejection wasn't just painful, it was potentially fatal. Without the protection and resources of the group, survival and reproduction were nearly impossible. This difference created a split in social psychology that we are still living with today. Women evolved to place enormous value on social harmony, reputation management, and in-group belonging. Their brains developed a hyper-awareness of social cues, group dynamics, and relational threats that men simply don't carry at the same level. This is why women tend to use what researchers call indirect aggression, social exclusion, reputation shaping, strategic distancing, rather than direct confrontation. Dr. Ann Campbell, an evolutionary psychologist at Durham University, calls this indirect intrasexual competition, and her research shows it is universal across all cultures. This is not cattiness for the sake of it. This is an evolved social survival strategy refined over hundreds of thousands of years. Here's another critical piece: social mirroring. Women are significantly more likely to mirror the behavior, tone, and even opinions of the people around them, not because they lack conviction, but because social cohesion is a deeply wired survival priority. That woman who agreed with everything you said at dinner then seemed to hold a completely different view when she was with her friends. She wasn't being fake. She was navigating two different social environments, each with different unspoken rules and different social survival demands. Understanding this doesn't mean accepting harmful behavior. It means you stop misreading normal female psychology as a personal attack directed at you. Truth number 3. Female testing behavior is real, it's psychological, and it's almost entirely unconscious. This is the part most people get completely wrong. When a woman tests a man, goes a little cold, says, "I'm fine," when she's clearly not, creates mild friction, most men read this as games, as manipulation, as drama. The psychological reality is far more fascinating than that. Dr. David Buss, one of the world's leading evolutionary psychologists and author of The Evolution of Desire, explains that women have evolved a set of unconscious mate assessment behaviors, low-stakes stress tests designed to evaluate the consistency, emotional stability, and genuine commitment of a potential partner. Think about what was at stake for our female ancestors. A woman who chose a partner who seemed strong but crumbled under pressure, or seemed devoted but abandoned her when things got difficult, faced catastrophic consequences for herself and her children. So the brain developed a testing system, small provocations specifically designed to reveal how a man behaves under mild pressure. When a woman says, "Do whatever you want," and is visibly unhappy with your choice, at a deep psychological level, she is watching how you handle emotional incongruence. Do you fold? Do you get angry? Do you stay calm and communicate honestly? When she becomes more distant early in a relationship, her nervous system may be running a proximity test. Will you pursue consistently, or will you disappear the moment things feel uncertain? Now, is this always healthy behavior? No. Adults should communicate directly. But understanding the psychological mechanism beneath the behavior removes the frustration and replaces it with clarity. And here's what matters most. The men who pass these tests are not the ones who perform the right answer. They are the ones who remain emotionally regulated, consistent, and honest throughout. That is what the test was actually designed to measure all along. Truth number 4. The female stress response is different from the male stress response. Emotional connection is not a bonus, it is a biological necessity. You've heard of fight or flight. That's the classic stress reaction. Heart rate spikes, adrenaline floods the system, the body prepares to fight or run. Here's what most people don't know. In 2000, Dr. Shelley Taylor at UCLA published a landmark study that found women have an additional stress response, one she called tend and befriend. When under stress, women's brains release a surge of oxytocin, the bonding hormone, alongside the standard cortisol and adrenaline. This oxytocin doesn't trigger aggression or withdrawal. It drives women towards social connection and caregiving behavior instead. What does this look like in real life? When a woman is stressed at work, she is more likely to call a friend, reach out for support, or need to talk through the problem out loud. This is not venting for no reason. This is her brain's biological stress management system activating exactly as it was designed to. When she needs more emotional support from you during difficult times, she is not being needy. She is running a completely different neurological program than you are. And this also explains why women tend to maintain and protect their social relationships far more vigilantly than men do. Those relationships are not small talk. They are active stress regulation infrastructure built directly into her biology. And here's the brutal truth most men are not prepared to hear. If you consistently fail to provide emotional connection during her stress response cycles, if you dismiss it, minimize it, or go cold when she needs presence, her nervous system will eventually reclassify you, not as a source of safety, as a source of stress. And once that shift happens, the relationship is in serious trouble. Not dramatically, not all at once, but quietly, steadily, until one day it's gone. Emotional connection is not optional. It is a biological necessity. Truth number 5. Women are narrative-driven, and the story they're telling themselves is more powerful than any fact you can present. This one is perhaps the most important truth of all. And if you've ever tried to win an argument with a woman using pure logic and walked away more confused than when you started, this is the reason why. The human brain does not record reality like a camera. It constructs reality, filtering every experience through emotion, memory, identity, and expectation.
But research consistently shows that women engage the brain's default mode network, the storytelling and self-referential processing hub, more frequently and more intensely than men do. What this means is that when a woman experiences conflict, uncertainty, or emotional ambiguity, she is automatically generating a deeply personal, emotionally textured narrative around it. And that narrative feels completely real to her because to her nervous system it is. Here's the practical picture. You forgot to text her. The fact, you were genuinely swamped. The narrative her brain constructed automatically. He doesn't prioritize me. Maybe he's losing interest. I probably care more than he does. She didn't ask for that story. Her brain built it, filling in every blank with emotionally consistent details. And now she is responding to that narrative, not to your actual behavior, to the narrative.
This is precisely why logic and data rarely work in emotional conflicts with women. You cannot out-argue a narrative with facts because the narrative is not a logical conclusion. It is an emotional experience. Arguing against it with data only makes her feel more unheard. The move that actually works? Enter the narrative first. Acknowledge the emotional experience, validate the feeling, and only then introduce the factual context. Something like, I can see why it felt like I wasn't making you a priority. That's not what I want you to feel. Here's what was actually happening on my end. That is not weakness. That is not submission. That is emotional intelligence, and it is the single most powerful communication tool available to you in any relationship with a woman. Bringing it all together. 5 brutal truths about female psychology. 1. Women are neurologically wired for deeper emotional processing. That's not a flaw, it's a feature. Stop treating it like a problem. 2. Female social behavior is an evolved survival strategy. Understanding it removes the frustration and replaces it with clarity. 3. Female testing behavior is largely unconscious and rooted in mate assessment psychology. Consistency beats performance every single time. 4. The female stress response is different from the male stress response. Emotional connection is not a bonus, it is a biological necessity. 5. Women operate through narrative. To communicate effectively, you must enter the story before you present the facts. Here's the thing, none of this is about excusing bad behavior. Women, like all humans, are fully responsible for how they act and how they communicate. That does not change. But there is a real and measurable difference between the people who constantly struggle in their relationships with women and the people who build deep, lasting, genuinely meaningful connections. That difference is almost always understanding. Knowledge is not weakness. Understanding is not submission. Empathy is the highest form of intelligence. If this video gave you even one new perspective, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want to go deeper into behavioral psychology, relationship science, and the hidden forces shaping human behavior, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself, take care of the people around you, and remember, the more you understand people, the better your life becomes.